All right, this is Pops, and yes, X-Men animated series, the 1997 X-Men 97, however you want to call it. I haven't really had my thoughts yet here recorded with you guys. I did a little quick comment here and there, some other shows, but I want to talk about the first two episodes. I'm not going to go past that for now. Give you my thoughts on those. So here we go. All right, on the first two episodes, the biggest positive I can tell you right off the bat is I feel like I'm actually in the right universe. I feel like I'm in a continuation of X-Men 92, which ran through 96, hence the reason it's called X-Men 97. The first episode really feels like a continuation where you have sort of all the mutant hate and the anti-mutant sentiments and all that kind of stuff with them trying to hijack technology, a sentinel and sentinel callbacks, things like that. The characters and character elements are pretty much the same. Like I'm going to get into some of the changes and issues, but for the most part, I feel like I'm in the right universe, the right place. Everything feels okay. I'm not trying to do somersaults like this is amazing. I'm also not trying to throw the baby out with the bathwater and say this is absolute garbage, because I don't feel that way either. Looking at the team as a whole, I liked pretty much everything. I actually really do like Storm going with the Mohawk, and obviously they're going to set up elements to her character that the comic books have talked about, and they didn't really get to in the earlier episodes in the animated series. So that actually I think is pretty good. I think that some of the hoopla over Rogue's design being less feminine and things like that, it didn't seem to bother me in the first two episodes. We'll see kind of how things play along as we go along. The biggest thing for me is Morph. I just can't get into this version of Morph. So as you can see on the in the left there, Morph with that the weird. I just really couldn't get into that design. Now I will say this one thing I liked about the design in this episode where they're playing ball. This is at the this I believe is the end of episode 2, is the fact that they have them like they have shirtless Wolverine and shirtless Gambit, and they're playing with this actually is pretty common in the comic books, and actually even it overlaps with the trading cards. There's like a whole subset of some of the Flair Ultra X-Men cards where they're like at the beach. There's one shot of Wolverine with hot dogs on his claws. So this element to the X-Men, while I think some people may not like, I actually thought was fine. The pregnant Jean thing, I think, felt fine. I also don't know that I felt like it was a good continuation from where we left off in the story, but it's okay. So as I said, the episode 1 back is basically like down with the mutants, mutant hate, this kind of thing leads into episode 2 where we have Magneto, and Magneto's not going to be on trial because the big twist is Magneto had inherited everything and he's going to run the X-Men. I don't know about anyone else. I'm not sure how I felt about Magneto's design. I do get the callback to the Tribe Magneto. I think that the creator, I think his name is Russo. I think it was Joe Russo, which is not the Russo brothers, I hope, because Lord knows it's an ignorant comment to make because the story is so good. It's going to translate to any time and place and story and things going on in our real world. And to try to say or try to infer that it has to do with current political things, it's just silliness. I didn't really feel it was that intrusive and didn't feel it was out of place or didn't take me out of the moment. I feel like it's more so like that now that I know the story that this person said rather than what actually happens on screen. So that's kind of my take on that as well. This action sequence with the Sentinel stuff and all that I thought was great. This actually felt like the original series. This actually felt like animated X-Men. We have power sets on display. We have good music cues, things like that. Thought all of that worked really well. All right. Well, there was some stuff I didn't like. I didn't like how Morph was able to take on the powers of the characters that he's transforming into. I didn't like how Rogue absorbed a doctor's information in his brain to deliver a baby. I didn't think that was her powers, but we make changes all the time. But this was the weirdest change of all. So let me get to that one. All right, well, let me start with Jubilee because if there's any surprise, I was surprised to see Jubilee was going to be brought back. She was really there only to cater to the kids, use it as a tool to talk to the children, dumb down plot elements or different things like powers or different moments so little kids that are watching at home could follow along. The fact that they brought her back and then they did a character design change where you can see obviously, and she's supposed to be Asian. I get it. They really went to modify her eyes. Eve Wow, I thought that was really kind of an extreme thing for me. Like I was like, wow, that was a major change that they consciously did. So that's probably one of the biggest surprises that I've had to date. On the flip side of liking things, there's this moment, which I hated in the trailer. and I still hate it. The fact that Gambit energizes Wolverine's adamantium claws. I I don't even know that we have lore on why this would or would not work. It just feels all wrong that they don't explode. It just everything about this is an excuse for them to try to just do something they think is cool, even though it doesn't make sense or it would have consequences to the rest of the canon, the lore. Couldn't stand this sequence. The episode just has it happen. And I feel like it's just a typical modern storytelling of let's just do something cool. It doesn't have to make sense. It doesn't have to fit with everything else going on in the universe previously or going forward. It's just something that we do. So didn't like that element. But overall, I felt like this was a pretty good start. I enjoyed the first two episodes. I'm okay to go on. I still have sort of like lukewarm expectations for the series because I don't have a lot of faith that the teams that Marvel puts together, the writing teams, the showrunners, are encouraged to go back to source material and translate that in to the animated show and bring people into the comic book lore, which is what the animated series originally had done. All right, everybody, that's my take on the first two episodes. Join me next week. We'll try to dive in again and take you out a little bit with some retro commercials, take you back to that Saturday morning cartoon experience. Take care, everybody. I am Pops.
The most popular comic book in the world today is coming to life. Don't miss the premiere of X-Men Saturday, October 24th on Fox.
Now the Power Rangers are going from the box office to the box. New Power Rangers Jell-O with a Power Rangers movie trading card inside. Only from Jell-O, where the power is on.
RoboCop. Part man, part robot. All cop.
Drop it!
RoboCop and the Ultra Police. Each sold separately. The only cops with rapid repeat cap firing.
Evil headhunter on a Skullhawk is cruising for trouble. RoboCop in his armored RoboCopter takes off after him. Fire Robo-Missile. We'll give you a lift to jail.
You put RoboCopter together. RoboCop vehicles and figures with RoboCaps, each sold separately.
Like cartoon characters, famous places, sports. I got someone right here with the reels out of the packets. Now, find the cartoon characters.
I found Donald Duck. Popeye and Scooby too. Bugs Bunny.
What about you?
Is Washington Monument a cartoon character?
GAF Viewmaster. Over 500 three-reel packets available, all purchased separately.
Answer, thou art life eternal. Answer the prayer of thy servants. Come to us again out of the legend. Answer, protect us with thy power of life.
This is Dr. Paul Bearer. You know, things are kind of dead around your house on Saturday afternoons. Why don't you join us on Creature Feature in the Tenement Castle for a couple of horrible old movies like this one.
Yeah.